Thank you, Gabby. All right, y'all. Well, welcome, welcome. Happy Pride Month. Happy Wednesday. Happy pre-Juneteenth. All the things in June. I hope y'all are taking real good care of yourself. It's a lot going on in our nation, and the weather is crazy and all that good stuff. But hopefully, all of us are slowing down a little bit to just really enjoy summer. And so I'm super excited to be here with y'all to talk about just finding a criteria. We're going to talk a little bit about criteria, how you guys can structure and find some amazing organizations through an equity and trust-based lens. And so, but before I pop into the PowerPoint, in which my PowerPoint is real short because I want to present some information to y'all, but really want to hear from y'all and really kind of have this as an open workshop. Y'all can bounce off questions and we'll just kind of all walk away, hopefully getting what we are hoping to accomplish. So, but a little bit about me before I jump into my presentation. As Gabby mentioned, we are partners. Grapevine is the platform that y'all use to run your giving circles. I work for Philanthropy Together. I serve as the director of engagement and Philanthropy Together, and Grapevine, we're like best friends. Philanthropy Together exists solely for giving circles too. We're not a platform, but instead we are a initiative, a 5-year initiative to really strengthen and scale the movement. So giving circles, collective giving. So we do this trainings, helping people trainings on how to start giving circles, all of that good jam. And so this series is really designed for you all as giving circle leaders to make sure that y'all are feeling more confident and feeling equipped to lead your circles as y'all, really pull your resources and fund some amazing organizations. So that being said, Gabby, let's pop up the PowerPoint. Oh, no, don't do that just yet. I want to know a little bit about y'all. I think we have some time because my PowerPoint is only about 20 minutes. So maybe, why don't y'all tell me where you based, like name, where you based from, and a little bit about your giving circle, like something, just a snippet about your circle. Fred, you're the only gentleman in the space. So I'm gonna just open it up to you. You wanna pop us off, set us off?
Okay, my name is Fred Haraway. I am out of Atlanta, the Atlanta metro area, and our giving circle is called Metro Atlanta Guys for Good, and it's a very new group. So I think just jumped in on at the very beginning. So we're kind of feeling our way around.
Awesome, Fred. Welcome.
Thank
ATL
you.
in the house. Who else from
Yes.
the South? No? Okay. Well, come on, Ashley. You next.
I'm Ashley. I'm from Chicago. I'm with Chicago Next Gen Women for Good. And a little bit about our giving circle. We're pretty new. We had our first grant and gather recently. Got to give it to an exciting not-for-profit in Chicago here, and they're actually, I think, going to be joining us for our next grant and gather to give us a little update on, what Arts of Life has been doing here in Chicago. So that's very exciting. And our next grant and gather is scheduled for the end of this month. So.
Nice. Y'all were moving, Ashley. That's good. Okay.
We had a late head start, so we're just trying to get caught up on the normal cycle. So
no late starts. You all are at the pace of where you need to be. And so I always say that with Giving Circle. Everybody is different and we all have different seasons and flows. So you're right on time. Sarah, you want to go?
Sure. Thanks. I'm Sarah. I am brand new. I'm in Seattle area. Our group is called King County Women for Good, and we are just in the throes of. I'm a founding member, I guess. I accepted the invitation, and so I think we're really getting started. I'm really excited to see what that looks like. I am in another giving circle that's different. In just a small neighborhood of my community that's all women as well. But yeah, I'm really excited just to see what it looks like and jump in and do some good.
I love that, Sarah. Okay, 2 giving circles. Look at you. I love that for you. Maribel.
Yes, thank you. So Sarah, I'm actually from Washington. I'm currently in Tacoma, Washington. So it's nice to have someone from Washington here as well. But I'm a part of the Honolulu Women for Good. I've actually been living in Honolulu for the past year. And I found out about Grapevine through Instagram. So that is how I ended up in Honolulu Women for Good. I didn't even know it existed out here in Washington. I'm here in Washington for the summer. But yes, I am new as well. So I'm just kind of trying to figure out what I need to I'm new to the organization, and I've never held anything like this. So I think just like Taisha mentioned earlier, just want to be more confident and make sure I'm equipped for this role.
I love that. You will be, Mary. Welcome to the movement as a newbie. I love that for you. Dorothy.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Good afternoon. My name is Dorothy Thomas. I currently live in Guyton, Georgia. I'm originally from White Plains, New York. I believe this is my second meeting, and the leadership group I am in is Women's Veteran for Good. And I am still learning a lot.
They all are. Welcome, Dorothy.
Oh, and
you.
I'm still at work. So if I don't say much, it's not I'm ignoring y'all, but I have like a phone in my ear and people chatting me. So I apologize if I don't chime in every now and then.
No worries. Shout out to you for trying to juggle both. I totally understand.
Thank you.
Okay, Miss Allison, you want to go next?
Allison's in the chat.
Sorry, I see you in the chat. Okay, Allison, my mic. Okay, we got you. You from the South. You just couldn't get that type fast enough. I love that. You're from Jackson, Mississippi, leader of Jackson Women for Good. We've been around for about a year. As of this month, congratulations, your 1 year anniversary. We are a group that primarily focuses on supporting nonprofits that support children, families, education, so needed, positive community building. You are so welcome, and welcome to you, Allison. Yes, happy anniversary. Okay, Sherry, I know you kind of just joined, but you want to pop in?
Yes. Hello, I'm Sherry Azim. I'm trying to put myself on the video because I am not at my home right now. So I am part of LAGC. I'm part of a board member of the Los Angeles Giving Circle. And our mission is to basically assist underprivileged women in Los Angeles area by providing grants to this organization. And I have been with the organization for about 5 years now. And we have about 60 members in our organization at this point. And our grants come through the donation, basically through the membership fees. Accumulation of membership fees provide funding, and we do some additional fundraising for the grants that we provide annually. We're about 4 organizations that are all 501c3 organizations.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. Michelle?
Hello, my name is Michelle. I'm from Monterey, California, part of Monterey Women for Good. We are also newbies ourselves. I joined the group last October, but we just got up and running and had our first gathering grant in May, and we're getting ready to have our next one here in July. And I joined today just to get a little more insight and to be the best leader I can be for our group and to ensure I'm delivering a good message to our team as we try and decide who we'd like to gather and grant for. And I too am at work today, so if I am silent when you ask me to speak up, that would be the why. So nice to meet you all.
Pleasure to meet you too. Thank you. And Kristen, I think that's everybody. Kristen, yep.
Hi, I missed the opening part of this, but my name is Christine Clayton, and I'm in Austin, Texas, and a member of Women in Design for Gender Equality. And it's not specific to Austin. I think it's nationwide. We just started as well, so I'm here to learn what I can.
Awesome. Welcome, welcome. I'm in Dallas, friends, so we
cool.
are neighbors.
Yeah.
Did I miss anyone? I feel like we had a couple of people fall off, but it's all good. Did everyone go? Yeah. Okay. Well, I too am a member of a giving circle. Y'all should know I do this for a living, but I also am a leader and a founding member of a giving circle based in Dallas. My circle is Heritage Giving Fund, and we're celebrating our 6-year anniversary. We launched in 2017 during Black Philanthropy Month. And we are a group of Black women that pull our resources to support very small grassroots organizations with budgets less than $500,000 that support women and girls. And so we have like a very, very, very tight alignment on who we serve. But that I'll talk a little bit about that in my presentation today. Okay, well, thank y'all for sharing. That helps me a little bit. Sounds like the majority of you all are fairly new, which is good. So some of the information that I'll present today might, if it's confusing, y'all, or if you can't place it, please say something. Come off mute, go into the chat, ask me questions. I'll slow it down or I like to answer things in real time so that y'all can process. We can have just a more robust and productive conversation. Okay, Gabby, so let's do this PowerPoint real quick. Okay, we're here to figure out how we're going to find some amazing organization, and what that criteria looks like, what we should consider when we are, once we have pulled our resources and we are considering some organizations to support, what does that criteria look like? And so hopefully this workshop will help y'all with that. I told you a little bit about Philanthropy Together, but a little bit more about us. Our mission, though, is really, really to diversify and democratize philanthropy through the power of giving circles. Y'all, philanthropy doesn't belong to a certain group of people, but the narrative that exists out here, as you all kind of know, is, in institutional philanthropy is, white, wealthy folks. And so our mission is really to open up the space, to change the narrative, change the face, and bring more people into collective giving by, training more people to start giving circles. And we really, truly envision a world, really, where we are all feeling real passionate about the causes that we care about. We feeling empowered, y'all. Our spaces are way more diverse than where they are now. And we are all showing up as our best philanthropic, as our best philanthropists, giving more intentionally and strategically with our gifts. And so that's the life that we are about. And all of our work is really rooted in diversity, equity, inclusion, and justice. Next slide, Gab. Okay, so basic language, and this is real 101, but that's okay. We're gonna learn. We're gonna start from the bottom. If anyone is asking, even if y'all, I want you to know about this resource that we have created for you all as you are recruiting members, advocating, sharing, trying to get you yourself as a giving circle leader, or sharing the narrative about a giving circle, some basic language of what y'all need to know. Giving circles are a group of people with shared values that come together, and we pull our mind, our talents, and our financial abilities, pull those together, take them very seriously, and make out for a very collective and collaborative and social experience. This giving circles are they're so different than the traditional ways and how giving groups gather, and that one, they're really rooted in learning, shared values, and collaboration, where everyone has a voice, aka your vote, right? And so what we have seen and what the data shows us is that giving circles really kind of serve as they do serve as on-ramps for civic engagement, because most of us, when we are contributing and we're giving, we're not just giving our time. A lot of us are being very intentional, thoughtful, and strategic with our gifts, our time, our talent, our treasure, our ties, our testimonies. So that goes beyond the money, okay? And so that is the market differential of giving circles. We have this very cool website at whatisagivingcircle.com that we have built. Gabby, if you can drop that in the chat, that'd be great. I suggest y'all use it, share it with your members, put it on your website, y'all. You can embed it in your website, but it really does give everyone, all of your members, a full like anchoring on the concept and the principles and the basic one-on-one language about what is the Giving Circle. So whatisthegivingcircle.com. Make sure y'all have that. Next slide, Gab. All right, so some things that I told y'all that Philanthropy Together, we really are not only trying to strengthen and get more people like you all equipped to be leaders and to start your Giving Circle. We want y'all to thrive, not just survive, but really be out here making a difference. We're also disrupting slightly the way that institutional philanthropy considers and allocates out grants and the things that the criteria and how they select. And so this will be more rooted in an equity lens, y'all. Trust-based philanthropy will be at the core of what I talk about today. So if you are not familiar with trust-based philanthropy, I'll talk a little bit about that. But it's essentially the guiding principles of what we will talk about today in terms of the nonprofit selection and what we need to consider with the criteria. Super duper important because, next slide, Gabby. This is very important because this is what we're dealing with, y'all. I think it's very important for us to always keep the data in front of us. Part of our experience as Giving Circle leaders is that y'all have to continue to learn and stay informed about the data and how money is being moved in the philanthropic sector. Every year, y'all, last year, I think we had about $491 billion that was moved to charitable organizations. Of that amount, only 8% goes to communities of color. Of that amount, only 1.8% goes to support causes that serve women and girls. And not even, 0.28% goes to support LGBTQ causes. And the data, this is, it's problematic. These are problematic numbers, y'all, because it's not equitable. But that's where you come in. That's where y'all circles come in, where we're trying to encourage y'all to really consider these numbers and then consider that in how the organizations that you are considering to support and your grant processes to not make more hurdles that are already exist out there for these nonprofits. Nonprofits that serve communities of colors, that serve women and girls, and so they can get better funding and more support from us. So I would encourage y'all. There's a lot of data about giving reports. I think there's just a lot of reporting, charitable giving on Chronicle of Philanthropy. But I would strongly encourage y'all to get familiar with these numbers because a lot of this, especially for your giving circles, you can use it as language and as anchoring language and supportive language as you're recruiting members, as you're recruiting advocates and such like that. But y'all, the data is so important because that's our motivation to do better and fund better and more equitably. Okay, that's my TED Talk, but really the data is, we got to do something. All right, so what should we consider as it relates to the criteria of what you all are thinking of the organizations that you should support? There are about 5 key pieces that we would want y'all to consider. The first is, and hold on real quick, I see the chat. Yeah, I know I'm trying to answer these in real time. Yes, all of this, can you share where the figures came from? Yes, I will. I can share. Oh, Gabby, are you going to share? You'll share where my data, I have it. I just don't have the link right now, but I will. I got you, Christine.
Is it the Lilly School?
Yeah, Lilly School of Philanthropy has it. What's the report, y'all? The giving report that we do every year. It's a charitable giving report. Gabby, you can just literally Google it and then just do 2022 philanthropic giving, charitable giving, and then drop the link. And if not, then I'll touch on that. But regarding the criteria, y'all, there's about 5 key pieces or themes that we want y'all to consider and think through. The first is the budget size of the nonprofit organization. I share with you all that my Giving Circle serves organizations with budgets with less than $500,000. That is very, very, and yes, Fred, Blackbot too is really good for data reporting. But with the budget size of the nonprofit organizations, y'all, that's very important because if, let's just say your Giving Circle, Maribel, y'all are giving out on average 5 to 7 grants, and your grants are $2,500. A $2,500 grant to an organization that has a budget of $1 million or $2 million, significant, but is small as compared to a $2,500 donation to an organization that has a $400,000 budget. And so that gift is going to go a longer way. It's going to help them to build their capacity. It might help that nonprofit to outsource and get a consultant, a grant writer, or something like that. So we think about scale, we think about capacity building, and that budget size screams capacity. So I would encourage y'all to always take a look at the budget size of the nonprofit organizations. And I'm going to share a little docket that we use at Philanthropy Together. Whenever we are considered organizations, and whenever I do the pop-up giving circles, sometimes I'll create a docket where I have the profile of the nonprofit, and at the very top is always the budget. We're always going to look at the budget first, because not only does it tell you how far your donation could go, it also shows you how nimble, how much the organization has been able to do off that budget. Does that make sense? So if an organization, they have it's on us, y'all, always to look at the organizations and to really dissect them, and we find out the information about them. Go to their website. You're looking at their Instagram, their socials, their board. You're looking at this, and some organizations, you're like, whoa, how in the world are they doing all this on a $300,000 or $400,000 budget? That again should serve as something for you to consider on how they are able to be good stewards with the small budget that they have, but also in how your gift can help them to scale and do more good. The location of the nonprofit. If you all are, many of you are virtual, your circles are virtual, but the location of the nonprofit matters. I'm in Texas. And so if I am a giving circle that is supporting a specific political or whatever the case is, or a political cause or whatever the case is, maybe the location of the nonprofit, ensuring that the location of the nonprofit is something that I would consider in terms of the locality, their alignment of their values. How are they in my backyard? Are we going to support a national organization? Like really kind of leaning into your principles and your funding priorities of your organization, and considering the location of the nonprofit in terms of if there's alignment there. And I say that because a lot of people, like even for us, we host events. We have some people that are like, oh, well, y'all having this event or such in the South, I'm not going there. So if that's something that your giving circle is passionate about, as it relates to if y'all want to fund locally, if you're okay with funding organizations in a specific area, if you're okay with funding an organization that's out of your state or internationally or whatnot, consider the location as it relates to the impact and the values that your circle have already set and the things that you already have considered. The third piece is the strong leadership on staff and the board that mirror the community. I told y'all diversity is another huge piece of this work of what we're doing to diversify and democratize philanthropy. And so taking a look at that leadership, y'all, to see if the leadership is reflective of the community that the organization serves. That is very telling. If the nonprofit organization serves women and girls, but there's not a single staff member or a single board member that is a woman, then that is something that you all should consider. Or ask your grantee partners. Again, this is relational, y'all. Our grantee partners in these nonprofits, find out more about that. There might be opportunities, maybe something they're working on, but it is something for you all to consider as it relates to, again, your values. If equity and diversity is a value of your giving circle, and diversity is not showing up in the nonprofit organization that you consider, then there's not alignment there. So there's opportunity maybe for you to, if they are not chosen for a grant, y'all, then for y'all to give them feedback as to why they wasn't chosen, if that is one of the particular areas that stands out. The third one is powerful programs connected to their mission. What are they doing? Are they, when every organization that you would consider, y'all should immediately look at their mission, immediately look at their vision, their mission statement. And that mission statement should show up directly in the program and the activities and services that they are doing. If the mission of the organization is to educate, is focused on early childhood education, but yet the programs and the things that they're doing has nothing to do with early childhood education, or if it makes you question that, then dig deeper in that. But if there is, on the opposite end, if there is a solid mission, but I mean a solid synergy between their mission and what they are doing, then that's a powerful indicator that they are working within their mission and actually achieving. They have outcomes and programs that are in support of the mission. That's a good green flag for you to consider in terms of giving them support. And then the last one is a close connection with community and a record of impact. Y'all know that word of mouth is pretty powerful. And so in considering their connection with the community, who are their partners? Are they working in siloed? Taking a look at their website, looking at their website and asking them questions. Who are you partnering with? How long have they been in operation, right? Taking a look at that. If they've been in operation for y'all for 1 or 2 years, but yet they have all these amazing outcomes of the people that they've served and outputs and things like that, then that speaks volumes and gives you incentive to consider them, because look at how much they were able to do in 1 year. And think about that in terms of your grant, of what they'll be able to accomplish with your grant and others who are supporting them. So that's a huge piece in terms of the record of impact and their connection, their visibility, their heart in community. Are they really in community and serving the community in a way that it is showing up through their impact? Taking a look at those annual reports, y'all. And if they don't have an annual report, because please know that there's a lot of amazing organizations that don't have annual reports. But again, it's up to us as philanthropists to do the dissecting. It's on us, y'all. The responsibility is on us to consider all of these things and to do the deep dive looking into these criteria for these nonprofits. I'm gonna stop there. Y'all still with me? Okay.
Quick question.
Yeah, go ahead, Fred.
So if they do not have an annual report, do we want to ask for additional information on how they're spending the funds?
Correct. So if a nonprofit organization doesn't have an annual report, that doesn't mean, Fred, that the work isn't being done. Maybe they have a case of support. I used to fundraise and still do whenever I have the capacity for organizations that are led by people of color, small organizations. And a lot of time, Fred, for these startup organizations and these organizations that have been in operation for between 1 and 5 years, some of them they're still nimble in terms of staffing. Right. So where the ED is the program officer, she's a social media manager, like we are seeing literally them operate like that. And so if they don't have an annual report, ask them, or even taking a look at it yourself. I'm sure they have maybe a case of support or some kind of one pager or something for them to demonstrate what they are doing on paper or on their website in some way, shape, or form. I promise you they do. Maybe it's just not packaged like that, how we would want it, like as an annual, nice put together, report. But the executive director or the program officer or whomever is tracking the outcomes and such like that would have something similar, right? And so that's what we're trying to open up, y'all. It's going to look different for every nonprofit, especially for the smaller ones. Give them grace and just have conversations around how you can get that information from them that might not be packaged in an annual report.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead, go ahead.
Oh, just a question. When you were talking earlier about budget, where do you suggest they find budget information?
Yeah, so for budgeting, there's a few different ways in how you can find budget information. Through their 990s. That is readily available, y'all. You can always pull the 990s for, if they are a registered 501c organization, Charity Navigator is a good source for y'all to go there. You can pull up the nonprofit, you can go there. You can, the 990 is going to tell you their budget, is going to tell you how much the salary ranges of the staff, is going to tell you how much the board members are contributing if they are paid. And so that 990 is really, really going to show you a lot of bit about that. If they should have a 990 period, because, you know, all of the organizations, especially on Grapevine, they have to be a 501c. And so that should be readily accessible and available. Also, many of them just, you know, especially for the nonprofits, you all are funders. We're funders, y'all. And so with funding comes ask. And so if there is something that you are wanting to know about their budget, this is where a transparent and open communication through humility, through kindness, through, right? We're not trying to do any harm. We're not trying to make these people feel like we're like dissecting them. But if that is something that is important to you, the budget size of the organization, say that to them. We are considering, we're wanting to, so our Giving Circle supports organizations with less than $500,000. And to make sure we are in line, we have to have that budget information. So if you can't find it on your own, 990, Charity Navigator, all that kind of stuff, then ask for it directly through the nonprofit partners. In a way, again, that we're not trying to cause harm, but very transparent and open as to why you're requesting their budget. And this, I made this slide just to kind of bring it, because I mentioned trust-based philanthropy, in which I'll talk about that right now. Trust-based philanthropy is some guiding principles, y'all, that are rooted in equity, and actually I'm gonna drop this link so that y'all can follow me along in this website. But the principles of trust-based philanthropy are ways in how we as funders and as philanthropists, y'all, can better take a look at our granting guidelines and see if you are creating more barriers than you are entry points for them to get access to your funding. Think about this for a second. I know many of y'all, maybe you have, and maybe you haven't been through it, but there was some time, quite some time, I was a fundraiser for a while, where some applications, I mean, they're like 20 something pages for a $2,000 grant or a $5,000 grant. And I would be like, geez, like some of this stuff they're asking on this grant application is on the website. So I would be I'm like, you know, copy and paste. And so trust-based philanthropy, we are saying, take a look at your grant application. Do you even need a 3-page grant application? Could the grantee partner submit a video submission? What exactly do you most need to know from these grantee partners the most? Is it asking the very specific questions of what you and your giving circle, in alignment with your funding priorities and the values of your giving circle? Think about that with your granting process and remove any barriers that might exist for your grantee partners for them to get the funding. And so trust-based philanthropy, they have a really good website. I'm dropping it here right now. I suggest y'all, please take a look. And if you more specifically, if you go to their, their values. I'm sorry, it has the approaches on there, and it tells you a lot about their values and their practices and all that kind of stuff. But more so, they have a guideline, some guidelines and some templates for you all to consider. And more specifically, it's the 6 trust-based practices at a glance. And with that guide, y'all, you can download it. And I'm going to drop this link right here so y'all can have it directly. So take a look at this real quick. And this goes right directly with the slide that I have up. So if y'all have a moment, just click on that last link. You'll see that this trust-based philanthropy, it's an approach, and it's an approach that I would strongly encourage y'all to consider embedded in your criteria. when I'm the first thing, the first of the 6 principles is to provide multi-year unrestricted funding, right? We know, and the data tells us all out there, that organizations are more sustainable, they're more effective if y'all would give them money that is unrestricted and multi-year. Meaning within your giving circle, if y'all are able to provide 2-year grants for that grantee, and if it's aligned and the consensus is there for your giving circle, do it. Because it really does make a difference for the nonprofit, for them to know that they got 2 years, they have a $5,000 grant over 2 years. And then that gives them breathing room, y'all, to really, not have to reapply for funding. That gives them breathing room and also sustainability funds, because now it's multi-year. Unrestricted means you're not restricting, your giving circle is not restricting the nonprofit to use the money a certain way. So unrestricted means that they can spend it on staff, they can spend it on programs, they can spend it in a way that they need to. And that's where trust comes in for you as a funder. You are trusting that this organization will spend the money in the way that will help them to move forward with fulfilling their vision. So the first one is that provide multi-year unrestricted funding. The second one is do the homework. And that's what I'm telling y'all about right here. You do the homework as giving circle leaders, as y'all are considering these criteria for these nonprofit organizations. You do the homework. You take the steps that it takes to find out their budget, to find out if their board and staff is reflective of the communities they serve. All of that, right? You do the homework of finding out about their programs if it's connected to their mission, right? And then even the third piece is to streamline and to simplify paperwork. That's kind of what I was talking to you all about the grant applications, in terms of really considering your proposals and your applications and streamlining that to where it's very simple. It should be a very simple process for a grantee partner to go and apply for y'all grants. And if that, and y'all should go through the motion of your grant applications and taking a look to see how simple and streamlined that process is. The fourth piece of the 6 principles of trust-based philanthropy is to be transparent and responsive. I've talked to y'all about that in terms of just talking and asking questions and viewing your grantee as partners, not as they are recipients, but when we say the word partners, they have a voice. We are working with them instead of looking at them as you prove yourself worthy of this grant. That's a different donor or grantee to funder relationship. View your grantees as partners and have open and very transparent communication with them. And all of this, what I'm sharing with y'all, is in alignment with the criteria of what you need to be considered for your giving circle. The 5th piece of the trust-based philanthropy is the solicit and act on feedback. So if you don't give them the grant, solicit and act on that feedback. So if give them feedback as to why they did not receive it, so that they themselves can grow, they can learn, they can grow through this grant process. For a lot of these small, nimble nonprofits, y'all are the first funders. For my giving circle, for several organizations that we funded, we were their first grants. Literally, we received money for their organizations. And so our feedback to them as experienced funders was very important for them to continue on to go fundraise and apply for more grants. Again, that's very important for these organizations. And then the last piece is to offer support beyond the dollar. And that's something that you and your giving circle members can decide to do. What other ways can we support these grantees? And so I shared that document, the 6 principles of trust-based philanthropy, but it is 1000% in alignment with what we're talking about today in terms of the criteria and the things you all should consider. So trust is at the center even of this slide here. I've already went through all of these 4 pieces, but when you center trust in how you are looking at the strong leadership of the staff and the board, that looks like trusting the organization leadership and focusing on BIPOC-led 501c3 organization. This is what this kind of could look like when we are moving from a more institutional way on the left to a more transformational, trust-based way of how we are selecting and identifying nonprofits to serve. So powerful programs connected to their mission, y'all. Focus on the organizations. I've said it a gabillion times. Focus on organizations that are aligned with your values and your issues. How close are they connected with the record and the impact of the community that they serve? Well, then taking a look to see if they have those deep relationships with organizations and partners that you can see firsthand. Transformational giving, making sure that those grants are relative. Again, we talked about this, to the budget size, and really centering those relationships and considering those grassroots organizations with less than $1 million budget. I think I have a question in the chat. Should their budget and financial reports support one another? Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that is, and if it doesn't, then you, again, us doing the homework, because that's a trust-based philanthropy practice, you figure out what that is. If there is if there's misalignment in their budget and their financial reports, then figuring out like what that is, what that could be. Maybe it's something trivial and small and nothing, but maybe it is something big and a red flag for you to consider. Gabby, next slide. Did y'all have any questions about, for the trust-based philanthropy? I'm curious, was that y'all first time hearing about trust-based philanthropy, those principles and stuff? Yes, no?
Oh, for me, in our group, that's kind of how we operated our giving circle at the very beginning. Was if we didn't personally know somebody on the board, we didn't do any work. So a lot of us had been trained in philanthropic groups that we were interested in donating to. So that was one of the things that we started off, and that our group's only 9 months old, but we've had 3 grant and gives already. And that's because we had so many members that were already engaged with some of the boards. So that was brought about very quickly in our meeting. So thank you for rehashing it though, because I've copied some of your slides and I'll present them at our next meeting. So thank you, Taisha.
Yes, you are very welcome. That's so good. I'm so proud of y'all. Like, y'all, we have to. It's the only way that we're going to bridge those numbers, is that we have to start trusting these nonprofits, especially the ones that are led by people of color. These people know, even myself, they have the lived experiences. They just need our trust as funders to like give them a shot, and they'll do well with the money. And if not, then you know what? Then we have leaned into the principle of it, and then we'll do better and not fund them anymore. And that's just something that they'll have to deal with. But we have to take the risk, y'all, to invest in these organizations that really need our support. So, all right, so how do you communicate that criteria though? How can you communicate your criteria to your grantee partners, to your members? Like, how do you get that messaging across? Next slide. There's a couple of different ways and how you can consider and how you should be. It's very kind of basic, but ways and how you can really communicate this out. Think across informal and formal moments to communicate, y'all. As it relates to when you are sending out the message. So a lot of y'all have seasons, right? So your grant, I think what y'all say, grant and meeting grants. What do they call it, Gabby? The grant and meeting grants.
Gathering grant.
Gathering grants. Gathering grants. Okay. So in thinking about the ways and how you're gathering grants, or all the different, y'all have so many cool words and the meetings or whatnot, but thinking about that for a second across your formal and informal moments that you can communicate. So that might look like, I don't know, if y'all have newsletters, maybe some of y'all, I know y'all are communicating on your Grapevine pages. So that is a formal way. Are y'all on Slack? Some of y'all giving circles have Slack, informal ways. Maybe you'll have a Facebook group. So just really the ways and how you have to, I promise y'all, it's so important for you to stay, your criteria and your members have to stay connected with that. Because especially if they are nominating organizations, a lot of your members are nominating organizations. Well, y'all don't want, otherwise it's more work. I promise you, people are going to nominate organizations. And let's just say y'all Giving Circle is supporting environmental justice causes, and your members, you have 100-something members, and they're suggesting organizations that have nothing to do with environmental justice. So that's why it's very important, y'all, to, as your members are coming on, new members are joining, communicating that. And on our website, we actually have a welcome packet that's which I'll share about our resource library, but we have a welcome packet. And part of that welcome packet, we're like the criteria of your Giving Circle, your values, all the kind of stuff should be included in there. Your members should know, period, Janine and Fred and all of us, our members should know what we are looking for, what we are considering when we are thinking about the organizations that we're trying to fund. And so formally, informally, think about that. New members join, think about that. As they're joining, what does your onboarding look like, y'all? I know we're all busy and we're all volunteers in this work, but we really do have to have some kind of onboarding for our new members. New members are joining. A lot of people are so new to Giving Circles that they're so excited. They're like, oh, I love this group. I'm joining. They're so aligned with my values. I'm ready to get in here and learn. And then they join a Giving Circle and there's like silence. It's like, hey, come in, jump in, nominate a nonprofit. It's like, pump the brakes. Let's really think about that new members joining experience. Do they know what a Giving Circle is? Do they know what y'all values are? Do they feel confident that they know what the criteria is? Those three pieces will then help them with how they show up, how they engage the nonprofits that they suggest, and it will make it more streamlined for you all, right? So you don't have your members going rogue and suggesting organizations that are just not even a good fit. Remind them at every meeting, y'all. There are certain things that I just feel like at every meeting, Giving Circles should be reminding their members of. Your name. I mean, we put heritage all the time in all of our stuff, y'all. And we remind our members at every meeting we say it out loud, y'all. We are a group of blah, 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 blah. We share our mission to our members. We also encourage them to lean into trust and to as so there's certain reminders that we remind our members of every meeting. Every circle is different. You figure out the culture of your Giving Circle and what does those reminders look like? Could the criteria be something that you often bring up, especially in those seasons that y'all are nominating organizations? So again, remind them, and I've shared with y'all on your Grapevine page, which I love y'all pages. Great, y'all Grapevine pages, use those. Gabby is so awesome in terms of, Gabby and her team are really, really good with helping y'all if you need some support, if you want them to post on your page, things like that. But we have to get the information out there. So these are just a few ways, but y'all should be thinking very fluidly of other ways and how y'all can make sure your people are equipped to nominate nonprofits. So how do you find these nonprofit organizations? Where are they at? What are these organizations that I'm talking about? These grassroots organizations, these amazing organizations, Ty? Well, can I suggest that you start with your members? We start with our members, y'all. A lot of us, we are connected people. We are beautiful, connected people. So start with your members. Ask them first. Or open up the window, and which I'm sure y'all already do this, but have that window, put a deadline to it, because people, so ask your members though, who are the nonprofits that we want to that are really speaking to y'all, that are doing good, nominate them. The second one is for y'all to build authentic relationships yourselves with the communities that you support. Now, if y'all are a national virtual Giving Circle, listen, maybe you're going to have to break that up. Who's in Texas? Okay, our Texas people, y'all suggest 2 nonprofits. Y'all get together and suggest 2. Who's our whatever. Now that's for a national big Giving Circle. But if you all are place-based, i.e. in Austin and in Seattle and such like that, building relationships with the community, following some of these organizations on Instagram and on social so you can stay abreast to what they have going on, following them, connecting with the leaders on LinkedIn, build relationships with them so that when your grant cycle comes up, you have some people to consider and you're not a stranger. And so that's a beautiful intersection between you cultivating a relationship with one of your prospective grantee partners. Talk with leaders in the field and the community. I suggest this so much because And when I say talk with leaders, I do mean like other nonprofit leaders. We have so many civic organizations and community foundations that's in your area. So talking to leaders, other leaders who are in the space of collective giving or fundraisers that are in your community, or change makers or whatever the case is, and saying, hey, are you a board member? Do you know of nonprofit or whatever? Maybe they serve as a board member for amazing nonprofits. So really just talking to leaders that have a footprint in community, those local celebrities that you can kind of lean into that can help you find some organizations. Look at other groups, other collective giving groups are giving to. May I suggest that you use the first ever Global Giving Circle directory that yours truly, Philanthropy Together and Grapevine, we created that for y'all. So go on and take a look at that directory, y'all. It's already on Grapevine's webpage. If y'all didn't know, you literally can search for your circle and other circles and taking a look at the nonprofits that they are granting to. I mean, think about that amplified impact. If another circle is giving them a grant, you and I are giving them a grant, that grantee partner might can get $100,000 from giving circles alone, which is amazing. So please operate within giving circles itself for potential grantee partners. Research the groups, other funders you admire are funding, AKA the Mackenzie Sky. I know when she funded, she's radical and amazing, but she, when she sent out those grants and she just, impromptu grants, those grantee partners, actually one of my close friends, his name Byron Sanders. He's based here in Dallas. He runs an amazing nonprofit called Big Thought. He was one of her grantees. Blew his mind. He ended up getting $1 million grant. Didn't know it was coming. He was one of those ones. Well, it enhanced Big Thought's presence so much here in North Texas that now their capacity since Mackenzie Scott, her donation. So I say that to say, funders that you admire, take a look at what they are funding. It might give you and your giving circle members something to consider about, because they got teams and people that are already vetting these organizations behind the scenes, trust me. So that might be something that you might want to consider. Internet stalking. I'm a big fan of it. I stalk y'all, by the way. I'll be all on your Grapevine pages. I'm on your LinkedIn. I'm going to connect with y'all after this on LinkedIn. If y'all don't connect with me first, but I'm real big about the internet. Use it. Seriously, use the internet, y'all, to find some nonprofits. One of my favorite databases is Giving Gap. They are a database a database for Black-led nonprofit organizations solely. There's so many other platforms like Giving Gap that that indigenous are databases for indigenous-led nonprofits or Latino or APIP giving circles or LGBTQ. So get on the internet and find these organizations, these amazing databases that are really being built up out here, y'all, and build a relationship with them so that y'all can use their databases to find some nonprofits. And then the last thing is just a list of great groups. Y'all should totally, if you haven't, check out Giving Compass. They are always running reports. Hey, these are 10, 20 amazing groups that you should consider supporting. And so those staff people at Giving Compass, we even run those reports. I do a whole I'm real involved in Black Philanthropy Month, and I constantly, every year, I run a report about that. 10 nonprofits you should support. So consider those kind of lists that are out there on those sites like Giving Compass or the Chronicle of Philanthropy or things like that. Those lists of nonprofits that they suggest that you give to. What questions y'all have? Oh, well, okay. That was very simple. A lot shorter than I thought, but yeah, y'all, what questions do you have? Finding organizations, trust-based philanthropy, criteria, how are y'all feeling? Did this feel very foreign? And you're like, as she was talking and I just didn't understand any of it, or does it resonate with y'all? We'll love some feedback.
I have a question. Do we have any resources available about the welcome packets? I know that we haven't done that yet as a group because we just started, but
Yeah.
interested in seeing this.
Gabby, can you screen share and go to our webpage real quick? Philanthropy Together website. I want to show y'all our website real quick because it has a lot of resources that might be super helpful for y'all. And I want to tell you about this training program because I think I'm sure Gabby, y'all been seeing it in the newsletters, and Gabby does a real good job with sharing out our programs and things. But alrighty, here's our website. When you go to our website, go to resources and resource library, sorry. Resource library. Our team is small but mighty. We're constantly updating this resource. This is for y'all. This toolkit right here, Ready to Launch Your Giving Circle, I strongly suggest y'all take a look at it. Even though y'all circles are up and running, this toolkit is a step-by-step guide, even just like how to start a giving circle, but it talks a little bit about all the steps and things that as budding giving circles, y'all might want to consider that maybe you haven't. So take a look at that toolkit. Keep scrolling, Gabby. I'm going to go to this welcome packet. We do have a welcome packet that our friends at the Latino Community Foundation helped us to build out, but take a look at all these resources. Making the case for Giving Circle, your application process, conflict resolutions, keep scrolling, Gabby. I just want to share all these amazing resources. The welcome packet is right there. Example for that, y'all. We have how giving circles can fit into some of this stuff is also, I should say, for community foundations, because we also work with funders to try to get them to host giving circles. And so some of those resources are not applicable to y'all, but we tried to tag them. Getting started, that might be something for you to consider, right? And so anything you see Launchpad for hosts, don't mind it, but anything else will be good for you all. So y'all take a look at the resource library. It has a whole bunch of cool templates and tools there, as well as we, every single month, I host a Launchpad for You training program. The training program is for newbies, new Giving Circle leaders, really just to train people how to start a Giving Circle. So if I know some of you all are even considering other leaders to help you lead your circle, if you want to join and just to make sure that, hey, I want to make sure I'm new to this space, I'm new to lead, I just want to make sure, jump in and sign up for one of the Launchpad for You training sessions. They're free every single month. They're 90 minutes. I host them. I facilitate them with my program manager. And we really basically go through the basic steps of the Giving Circle. And we talk a lot more about like membership engagement, what y'all should consider, how to run your meetings, the agendas, all that kind of stuff. So might be helpful for y'all. And I'd love to see some of y'all faces there. But that's all I have. If y'all don't have any questions, I'm looking at this chat. Thank you so much, y'all. I think are we at time? Yep, we're at
right
time. Perfect time.
You did it. And I will share out everything that Taisha has mentioned, all these links, so you have them all in one place. And I'll also share, Christine, that's a great question. We have a new member checklist as well in our resources, so I'll share that out with you as well, so you'll be covered. But thank you so much, everyone, for joining, and for Taisha for leading this. Our next one will be the Art of Facilitation, which will be next month, which is around hard conversations that come up sometimes with collective giving, and how to foster engagement in your group. So we hope to see you at that one as well. But yeah, thank you so much, everyone. And you will get a recording and the resources later today.
Yeah, be kind of yourself. Have a good weekend.
All
Bye,
right,
everyone.
thank you.
Bye,
Take care,
y'all.
guys.
Thanks, everyone.